my name's Amanda, and I'm on the affirmative side. Our main claim is that the United States should adopt President Obama's Now is the Time proposal. The Now is the Time proposal consists of closing background check loopholes to keep guns out of dangerous hands, banning military-style assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, and taking other common sense steps to reduce gun violence, making schools safer, and increasing access to mental health services. So, my first claim is going to be that current gun laws are failing. There are gaps and loopholes in background checks for guns. Rick Schmidt from www.publicintegrity.org reported, the federal background check system conceived as a first line of defense against gun crime remains riddled with data gaps, loopholes, and disputes over just who should be barred. A troubling conclusion brought into sharp relief by the January shooting spree in Arizona that killed 6 and wounded 13 others, including Rep. Gabrielle Giffords. My next claim is that many cases of gun violence consist of military-style weapons and high-capacity magazines. MotherJones.com reported more than half of the killers we studied in our investigation of 62 mass shootings over the last 3 decades possess weapons that would be banned by Feinstein's bill, including various semi-automatic rifles, guns with military features, and handguns using magazines with more than 10 rounds. My next claim is that many shootings happen in schools. RT.com reported of the 52 shootings, 21 have been in colleges and universities, 15 at high schools, 3 at middle schools, 10 at elementary schools, 2 at preschools, and 1 of them on a school bus. Suicides account for 6 of the incidents, while no one was struck by bullets in the 13 of the shootings. There were also 2 that could be classified as murder-suicides at the University of South Carolina in February and at Delta State University in mid-September. And that was just this year. And then my next one is that mental health services are not easily accessible. Jeffrey Swanson, a professor of psychiatry and behavioral science at Duke University, agrees. Swanson states the public mental health system in most states is woefully inadequate, fragmented, overburdened, and underfunded. It shouldn't be harder for a person in a suicidal mental health crisis to get treatment than to get a handgun. Okay, so on to my next secondary claim. It would be too many people are dying from gun violence. CNN reported using numbers from the Centers for Disease. Let me start over. CNN reported using numbers from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. We found that from 2001 to 2013, 406,496 people died by firearms on U.S. soil. 2013 is the most recent year for the CDC data for deaths by firearms is available. So this data covered all manners of death, including homicide, accident, and suicide. Okay, so there's a substantial decrease in gun violence in countries that have banned guns. For example, BusinessInsider.com reported that in 2011, the UK had 0.07 gun homicides for every 100,000 people. The U.S., by contrast, had 3 gun homicides for every 100,000 people. Another case is Canada. BusinessInsider.com also reported that in Canada in 2009, there were 0.5 deaths per 100,000 people from gun homicide, and that's only 173 people. Another country is Japan. Japanese civilians hold a mere 710,000 guns with 0.6 firearms for every person. In 2008, there were 11 gun homicides. In 2006, there were 2 gun homicides, and in 2007, there were 22, a national scandal. Also in Japan, if you do own a gun, which it's really hard to get, you have to have a locker for it, and you have to give the police a map of where the locker is, and you have to have a separate locker for the ammunition, and give them a map of where the ammunition is as well. And lastly, in Australia, they also have very strict gun laws. They had 30 gun homicides in 2010, which amounted to 0.13 gun deaths for each 100,000 people. Australians hold 3 to 3.5 million guns, a rate of 15 guns for every 100 people. And just to tell you where the U.S. stands again, for every 100,000 people, they had, or hold on, let me repeat that. the U.S. Has 3 gun homicides for every 100,000 people. So you can see that there's a huge difference between the U.S. and people with stricter gun laws.
To begin, let me say that